And Zach, really, this whole space underwent an evolution, right? I remember 5, maybe 6 years ago, when companies first started introducing driver apps and electronic proof of delivery. This was the first piece really that got digitized the carriers. And around this point in time, we could see a lot, maybe 10 plus, 15 plus driver apps that suddenly got available with different kind of quality, buggy, some of them working, and so on. A lot of these today we see that pretty much maintained one and the same level. So the technology that you had 5, 6 years ago, it's pretty much the same technology that you're using today, while we keep trying to constantly evolve, improve the technology.
Welcome to Stream, a trucktractortrailer.com production. My name is Zach Miller. I'm your host, and I'm really excited about this episode. This episode is presented by Ship.Cars, and I am honored today to be joined by Eftimov, who is the president of Ship.Cars USA, as well as Slavo, who is owner-operator of the Taurus Group. Gentlemen, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Zach.
Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning. So let's get into this, because there's so much going on in the world of shipping, of auto shipping. You know, I honestly, and we didn't even talk about this beforehand, but it literally just hit my mind that I read an article about how a lot of auto dealerships are selling their land because so many people are buying autos online, which of course has to do with the availability to ship those cars and how that really changed the game. So my question to you, gentlemen, is what are the car hauler business functional areas where technology is used the most and the least?
Technologies did change our industry, and I think in the best way, comparing to the past, when we used to use the old type of tools like paperwork, like even the applications and the platforms. I think that we always try to accommodate and exceed and become better and do a better job and eliminate those issues that we used to face in the past. Like, for example, I'm gonna bring up one small example. When I used to, when I started back in 2010, driving a car hauler, we used to use, papers. We used to use, we didn't even have those, smartphones with all these applications and cameras recording, and taking pictures of the vehicles and do a proper inspection. So here is the thing: we used to use paper and do all the inspections on the paper. So that could lead us into situations when we have to pay for the fake claims.
That's right.
Claims, because then you had to write damage. You had to find a spot on the vehicle during the whatever weather, nature, snow or rain, get wet, the paper gets wet, the pen doesn't write, so that was pretty frustrating situation when that was not possible to do and very easy. So thanks to the all these technologies that came out later, and all these tools that we have today, and now it's much easier to work and take pictures and mark damages on the application. And at the same time, everybody can see once the driver clicks that it's done, it's been picked up. Everybody can see the inspection, the picture, and it's a live thing that everybody can share and see without even calling or asking. So in years that changed the whole thing, and became much easier for us. So I think technology these days are much better and easier to deal with, to work with, and of course that helps us to provide a better job and to be connected with everybody on the platform. So I would like to say Ship.Cars did a great job during the years building this platform and having this new technology for car hauling industry. Helped us a lot, and we glad that we have that these days in our daily work, and everything is connected on the platform. So it's just dispatch department, the accounting department, everybody uses one big platform where everything is it's there. It's easy. You don't have to call and ask somebody. You just log in and just find whatever you need. You can even ask a question. And yeah, I think we this platform was has everything we need in all departments to make our life easier.
That's an incredible testimonial right there.
Yeah, if I can add to that, I think the example that Slavo gave about the driver apps, for example, marking pickup, delivery, electronically generating the bill of ladings and all that good stuff. The best thing about technology is that technology evolves, right? And technology develops. So we started and managed to transition companies from using nothing and paperwork into using digital apps. Now, later this year, we will be introducing AI damage inspections to our app. So the driver takes the picture of the vehicle, and all the damages and scratches and marks that previously had to be, marked manually. Now there will be an artificial intelligence engine to support the drivers in these pieces. And as Slavo said, this is really important to them because at the end of the day, everything that they do equates to a dollar amount of either savings in efficiencies, false claims, as he said, and stuff like that.
So I'm really interested in the claims aspect of this because I'm curious if there are specific technology needs for a small hauler versus a large hauler. And when it comes to something like claims, and claims are terrible for everybody, they hurt everybody. But there are claims that could put a small hauler straight out of business, whereas a larger hauler, they might be able to survive some of these claims. So as the technology evolves to help aspects like that more, do you see a sort of differentiation between what helps a smaller hauler versus a larger hauler?
I would answer this. I think it doesn't matter if the company is big or small. I think everybody wants to be protected, and everybody wants to save money but not spend money, especially on the fake claims. When the vehicle, for example, in a private section, when the driver goes to a pickup location, he's doing his inspection, and maybe sometimes people don't know their vehicles very well. They release the vehicle, then when they receive it, they can just notice something new for them, but not something new on the vehicle. You know what I mean? Like let's say a scratch somewhere, and they just consider it's something new, and they just blame the driver for this. When you open up the application, and show the client at the spot, proving that damage was there, present when he picked up the vehicle, the questions are gone. So it's simple, and it's just amazing to know, to have a peace of mind that you are not put in a tough situation, and you don't have to be a target of being charged for something that you didn't, you never did. So I think this works perfectly for all the carriers. It doesn't matter the size of it. It's just amazing how it works and how you can prove everything at the spot. And it's just, you know, can be better than that.
And in general, to add to this technology, I mean, I realize it sounds like a cliche, but technology brings the parties together. It's much easier to strike a proper partnership between a shipper and a carrier. I don't know, between a broker and a carrier, or between a dealership and a carrier, where the technology is there to support you in the communication. Because at the end of the day, most of the issues that arise between parties in this space are communications issues, and how fast documents flow, communications flow, and so on is really critical. Being as a shipper, to be able to see the entire history of all the moves that you've had with the particular carrier, what was their performance, on-time pickups, on-time deliveries, percentage of claims, and all that good stuff. You know, it's really important nowadays.
I
I would
totally
like to add
agree.
something. I would like to add something to this. You know, actually, you mentioned that at the beginning when you asked the question, that claims is one of the most like sensitive part of our job. And you know, we used to, before, when we, you know, started, like I said, everything was on the paper, and we had to argue with the customer and the you know, and the vendor and the broker about the damage that does existed before or not, and that made us, you know, everybody like frustrated and nervous about the situation, because we always try to make the customer happy. And in the cases when they when they complain about something, it's very hard to argue about that, and it's very hard to you know, to deny the existing damage or something like that. So at the end of the year, we used to have a lot of like losses because of the claims that we would not accept and we would not agree with. So back to technologies now, these days, everything is much easier. Everything is obvious. Everything is it's simple, and situations like that are much less. So that means we as a carrier and the broker, of course, saves a lot of money on the situations, cases like that, which is, you know, it's great.
I love that, and I think that's what freight, I mean, tech in general, but that's really what freight tech is all about. It's about because you talk about the transportation sector. I don't have to tell you, it is a small margin sector of profitability. So anything that could be done to save that time and save that money, people are going to adapt to it. I mean, they don't have a choice, and that's why I love freight tech so much. And I do think it's important to talk about some of the comparisons too, right? So like, do you know, do either of you know those companies that haven't adopted the tech yet, what they're spending on the physical bills of lading, what they're spending on the physical invoice, you know,
well, that's a lot of headache. That's a lot of headache. You have to order them. You have to make sure you always have them. You get out of them, you run out of them, and then it's not cheap. We used to go to FedEx and you know, create one of those BOLs in 3 copies. One stays with the customer at the pickup, one stays with the customer at the delivery location, and one, the original one, we keep as a carrier and share it with the broker. So those inspections were not cheap. I remember I used to pay for like, I think 500 sheets, I mean triple sheets. I used to pay like, I believe about $300 something, but that was 500 cars. It's a peanuts. It's something that we would you know, spend or haul in maybe 1 week, you know. So So it was thousands of dollars every month on, spending on those BOLs. And like I said, they were worthless because, when it comes to a claim, that paper, it's very little evidence of what you can prove. So technologies is definitely something that we love and something that we get used to it very quick, and we enjoying it, and it's just great. And the expense for the platform, it's much less. The whole platform, imagine you getting everything built in one, like one platform has all the departments and everything. You're saving not only on the BOLs, you're saving on phone calls, you're saving on emails, you're saving on, like, you're saving a lot of time, which time is money, right? You don't want to, spend your time for something that it can be done by a click, right? So it's just amazing how this changed our game.
And also our observation is that once people get used to it, pretty much there's no turning back. And also, okay, maybe on the driver side, we can talk a little bit in depth about it, how's adoption going of using these driver apps. But our findings, our impressions are that within the team of the car carrier companies, so the dispatchers, the accountants, the back office folks, there's no way that anybody's coming back to paper once they've gone digital.
Well, I do, and I agree, and I've seen that with so many different types of technologies. Slavo mentioned the cameras. That's what I heard about the cameras too, right? From the management perspective, and then the back office perspective, and certainly the insurance provider perspective, they loved it. It was the drivers who were the last ones to sort of accept it. And so I do want to follow up with you on that. How have the drivers adapted to technology? Are they still starting? Are they holding out? Are they starting to come around? Like, what is the driver situation with this right now?
Well, the beginning was hard, to educate them, and of course, first we had to learn everything and all the, every single corner of it. But people are Homo sapiens. They built for learning and find out new things and accommodate to the new situations and technologies. Even the smartphones, that's what they're using, or maybe the tablet. It was kind of hard from the beginning, but once the driver realizes what is this for and how it works, they don't want to go back. They don't want to change it. They don't want to, use any other type of technologies than what we had. So still, for some older people, older ages, it was harder for them because they grew up in a different environment, in different world. So for them to pick up all this, it was kind of hard. But it didn't take too long. Once you have trained and prepared person who's gonna log in and go through, walk him through the whole application and platform, and it's just a matter of time, maybe a couple exercise, a couple times they use it, they do it from head to tail, and they just learn it pretty fast. So everything new comes in the world, like even the pandemic, right? We never been through the pandemic, but we had to learn and look how the world changed because of the pandemic. Everybody adopted, accepted, and everybody tried to learn and survive and do, and just get used to this, to the real world and situation. So I think those who are holding up too much and they don't want to accept the technologies and everything that the world bring up on the new is just losing the world, is losing the control, is losing the business, is losing a lot of opportunities, I would say. So that's what I want to say about drivers. But I want to mention one more thing beside the claims and beside the BOLs that we used to use on the paper, and now they are on the phone, on the platform application. It's not only that. It's about I would say, now you can even record a video, a small video, like 10 seconds of the vehicle. Let's say you have a mechanical issue of the vehicle, which is a very, very gray area in the business, where the people release the car and then they, at the delivery, they have a check engine light on, or maybe the engine makes some kind of noise, weird noise, strange, sound. So you can even record the video and show the customer that this is how it was before, So it's amazing. Like I said, it's just much easier and much better of doing that, using this.
And what about, I think, those drivers, those, if you want to call them like the old school drivers, who, they have a flip phone and they still do everything by paper and all that. What about getting paid? Because I feel like the companies that utilize this platform, they have to get paid quicker and more efficiently than those that are still running around chasing BOLs and trying to add up numbers on a spreadsheet somewhere.
That's a great question, Zach. I would say, this integrates everything, and the whole turnaround process is quick. It's like much faster than it used to be. We used to, so the driver went to the road. So before he makes a round trip, it takes maybe a week. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say he goes from California from Illinois to California, let's say. So it would take him like 10 days to do a round trip. Imagine he would hold all those BOLs with him until he gets back to the terminal, to the home terminal. When he turns them into the office, then the office has to process them and send them to the broker in order to get paid. Now, this process is like very fast, very quick. Once the driver notes or marks that the vehicle was delivered, all this is already sent automatically by email and to the broker and to the customer. So the paying process, it starts right away. By the time the driver gets back home, we are already paid for the order, which is, imagine how much easier this is, because in the past we used to have much more money on hold, like a lot of money. Let's say we used to get paid slower, like harder, and we would just have a financial issue of running the company and the trucks and fuel and salaries and insurance and everything, and then wait for the money to return. So that was a slow process, and thanks to the platform and technology, we now got rid of that issue, so we get paid like very quick, instant.
I mean, that's incredible. That's incredible right there. Is that Eftim, is that what you found, that when the companies were talking, the haulers were talking with you about their pain points and what they really need to see, that was one of the big ones, that just like, hey, we're losing money up until we get like one lump sum when we finally have the time to process everything? Was that one of their big complaints?
Yes, the quick turnaround is definitely one of the big ones. I can believe how many carriers we have talked to where actually it's about what they don't know, which is sometimes it might happen that they forgot to invoice the customer. This used to happen in the past quite a lot, for carriers that weren't utilizing technology, because it's you keep in a very manual paper-based way your checks and balances, versus what happens today, which is the moment you slide the car is delivered button, the invoice immediately gets sent to the shipper, and with that the BOL and the billing terms start to tick. And what I love about this is that it's really a win-win situation, because it saves, it eliminates the manual errors.
Yeah.
It makes everything super instantly fast, and at the end of the day, shippers do care about, okay, is the car picked up, is it not? The driver does not need to be bothered while he's driving by somebody calling him, hey, did you deliver it, or what's going on, where you at? So it just works.
Incredible.
Then another thing, before we used to send dispatch department used to, so let's say the dispatch books a load with the broker, right? So then all this confirmation of the load and the BOLs and documentation that the driver needs, the broker is supposed to email it to the dispatch, and then the dispatch has to email it to the driver. Now the driver, in order to get the physical paper to go at the pickup and show that he's got this order to pick up, then he had to stop at the truck stop, find a fax machine where he can print the BOLs. And that takes a lot of time, and it's so frustrating. The drivers always, was nervous and about this. They had to spend time in order to go and fast do their job. They had to spend time waited in line somewhere at the fax machine. It was just a nightmare, so, and then he has to go to when he gets to the pickup location, he has to go with that paper physical and give it to the or if he doesn't have it, he had to just go to the dealer, let's say, where he's picking up the car, and just ask for an email or a fax, where he would send a fax or send an email, and then the dealer is supposed to print it out. And the whole process, it's a nightmare. It's just it takes so long time, so much time. With this, with the application, the platform we use, like I'm talking about Ship.Cars, is just everything is there, everything is easy. You just send email, you just receive whatever you want. It's the communication is much easier, and we saving a lot of time, which time is like, again, money, and we have to be quick. Everything is set by appointments. The driver needs to make an appointment with every single customer. Let's say he's got 9 spots on a truck, on a trailer. He has to pick up 9 different cars in 9 different locations. So the time, it's everything. Like, time is more, it's even the most important. So during megapolis like Chicago, like Los Angeles, like New York, like I don't know, I would say Miami, you have to spend a lot of time in traffic anyways. And then for the driver to pick up and deliver cars, it's a long, it takes a long time. So all these situations where the driver had to stop, get the papers, spend time somewhere, that was just an inconvenience that we just got rid of it once we had this platform.
That's incredible. Just quickly, because the Ship.Cars platform, it's so quick because Eftim, your team updates it all the time. Do you feel like like some of the other technology might be a little outdated? Some of the other maybe operations are a little outdated?
Yes, definitely. Not everybody are on the same page. Not everybody has the right experience and the right knowledge about how to create a product. It's I would say only those who build the business from the scratch and learn it the hard way, and learn it, that they know from the inside out the whole process, would be able to create something like that and to be one of the best applications or platforms on the market. Yes, comparing, if I would compare Ship.Cars with the other platforms that we used to use, Ship.Cars, I think, is one of the best and one of the smartest application platform we ever seen.
Thank you, Slavo. And Zach, really, this whole space underwent an evolution, right? I remember 5, maybe 6 years ago, when companies first started introducing driver apps and electronic proof of delivery. This was the first piece really that got digitized, the carriers. And around this point in time, we could see a lot, maybe 10 plus, 15 plus driver apps that suddenly got available with different kind of quality, buggy, some of them working, and so on. A lot of these today we see that pretty much maintained one and the same level. So the technology that you had 5, 6 years ago, it's pretty much the same technology that you're using today, while we keep trying to constantly evolve, improve the technology. Number one and foremost, listening to feedback from the customers, from the drivers. At the end of the day, our understanding about how technology should be used is that ideally it's not a push, it's a pull from the carriers and from the drivers. This is going to help me be better at what I'm doing versus, okay, you guys are forced to use this technology because somebody, said so.
I love it. I love this conversation. We have to have you guys back on. We only scratched the surface here. Just quickly, right before we leave, if somebody wants to contact Ship.Cars, if they're interested in a demo or talking to a sales rep, how would they go about doing that?
The best way would be to go to Ship.Cars. That is the domain address, Ship.Cars. You guys can check out our offerings on the carrier side. Get in contact with a sales rep or our carrier relations team. It's easy, self-serve, to just register. The usage of the platform today is free of charge. So you can register, start using it, or if you want to go through a process through a demo to have sort of like a guided approach to it, you can do that as well.
Outstanding. If you guys like the content you see, please subscribe to Stream. We'll see you next time. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Really fascinating conversation in the growing and essential field of freight tech.